This is episode 62, day 62. Hope everyone's doing okay today. It looks like, I think today I want to talk about why I'm choosing a Ford Transit. That's the van of choice. And I found a video. There's a company up in Colorado who builds out Ford Transit. And he's giving a video here about why they like to build out Ford Transits. And he's got some good reasons, which I totally agree with, on why I would choose a Ford Transit as opposed to, say, a Sprinter, a Mercedes Sprinter. The three main ones are the Ford Transit, the Sprinter, and the Ram ProMaster. So you got your choice, ProMaster, Sprinter, or the Ford Transit. Those are the most popular right now, and I think the Ford Transit is by far the better choice for me. And so I thought we'd watch this video and discuss some of the reasons.
And I thought it'd be a good time to sit down and just chat with you about why we love the Ford Transit. So this video is not meant to compare apples to oranges to bananas. We really just wanted to hit some of our favorite features and let you know why AVC prefers the Ford Transit. So for us here, we're typically traveling around North America. And what that means is there are going to be a lot of Ford dealers all around in all the little towns.
Okay, he's going to say right here up front, which is important, is that I'm going to be traveling North America. Maybe Canada. I doubt I will ever venture into Mexico, but I would see the fun of going up through Canada. There are some great places I'd like to go to Vancouver, for example. And so there's some places in Canada I'd like to go, but primarily I'm going to be traveling in the United States. And so when we're looking at a van that you're going to need maintenance for, and you're not going to have some regular maintenance and regular update, you're going to have repair costs, you're going to have to get parts. There's a wide variety of Ford dealerships across America, thousands of Ford dealerships, and thousands of mechanics who can work on the Ford vehicle. So that's his first reason, is dealerships.
We go to, when we're on a trip across the country, we can find a local Ford dealer. We can also find a service center or a mechanic that knows the Ford platform. Now, some of the other models on the market, you might be a little hard pressed in some of these smaller towns across America to find someone that can service your vehicle. So if the worst should happen, having the availability of someone that knows about the platform is a big asset in our mind. The next thing is parts. What comes along with service are parts.
Amen to that. Try getting parts to a Mercedes. A lot are shipped overseas. They take forever to get to you. And if you're in certain parts of the country, you may have a long wait for parts. Ford parts are going to be available just about everywhere.
So having parts availability for the platform, not having to wait for something to ship from overseas, is a huge advantage to us as well. So whether it's something that happens in the shop and we need a replacement part, or it's something that happens on the road and we need a repair done, having a local supplier with parts available is a huge asset. Another nice feature about the Ford Transit is the drivetrain. Now, the EcoBoost motor, the new 10-speed transmission, all these parts have been pretty proven because they're in that Ford F-150. So the best-selling truck in America, tons and tons of these vehicles out there, means we have a lot of use case and a lot of study to know that our parts are going to last us a long time, and we're going to have a reliable vehicle to go on our adventures. Personally, I am not a diesel guy, so I don't like dealing with DEF fluid. I've owned a couple in the past. I was never that in love with them. But to me, that EcoBoost engine on the Ford Transit, that really sold me. Lots of power, we can pass at speed. Even with a heavy vehicle like this, I can go up big hills in the mountains at 75 miles an hour and get around that semi-truck when I need to. When I'm in traffic, when I'm on the highway and I need to get around somebody, the power is there when I need it, and that's a huge asset. The last thing I want to hit on is the all-wheel drive. So when AVC started in 2017, all-wheel drive wasn't available, but we did.
Okay, this is the big question I have in terms of all-wheel drive. I've heard that maybe you can let me know in comments if you know something about the all-wheel drive, because I've heard that those who have it enjoy it, they are glad they have it when they go off road, especially and get into certain climates, certain road conditions. The all-wheel drive is a big plus, but they don't use it that often. So I don't know. I guess it would be worth the expense. So what do you think? I think I'm leaning toward the all-wheel drive. I think is going to be probably a smart move.
Believe in the platform, and we wanted to spend our time and energy developing our solutions for the Ford Transit. So the reason we really like the all-wheel drive option is it really rounded out the Ford Transit as a good adventure vehicle platform. So if you need all-wheel drive like we do, then it's a great option. If you want to save that money and go with the two-wheel model, that's a good solution for you too. And maybe that money is better spent in a different portion of your build-out. Okay, so let's talk about drivability and some of the features in the cockpit. Now, I've been in the industry for quite a while, since before I started AVC. We're actually coming up on 9 years now. And over my experience here building vans, I've driven a lot of different vehicles. And in my opinion, this is the most like driving a regular car. A lot of the other vans out there drive more like a truck or a bus. You feel a little bit more upright. And in my opinion, this is the most comfortable. So this van is my daily driver, and I love driving this vehicle around because it drives so easy. You know, driving in the city, parking at the grocery store, all those kind of things make it comfortable. And the driver's cockpit is really comfortable for going on long road trips. In my opinion, it has the most comfortable seats. Now they have 10-way adjustable seats, and they have 4-way adjustables. They have factory swivels, lots of options, and we'll go.
Okay, the factory swivels. You've got to have factory swivels, right? You want those chairs to be able to swivel around so that you can have a table to work on and have them face the interior of the van. So that's going to have to be a necessity, is to have those swivel seats for sure.
Into that stuff in another video. But what I'm trying to get at is it's just a comfortable platform. So my wife likes driving this vehicle as well. She's actually comfortable driving this vehicle. She's tried out a couple of other things before. She was a little intimidated by the way they felt, but when she goes from her RAV4 into our Ford Transit, it's a pretty easy blend of moving from one vehicle to another. When Ford did a model review in 2020, they added a lot of nice features to the vehicle. Before, I think it was kind of designed as more of your commercial driver kind of thing, like business vehicle, delivery truck, things like that. But now they add a lot of modern conveniences to the platform. So we get Apple CarPlay, we get radar cruise control, we get collision avoidance. So having a lot of these modern amenities added to this platform has really made it an awesome vehicle for safety, for daily driving, and for comfort. I love having Apple CarPlay. I love having my maps up on the screen, getting to where I'm going. A lot of times I'm taking this van to new places, so I don't know where the heck I'm going. And it's easy to get there because I have all those features available at the dash. All right, so let's just talk about heights. So when we look at the Mercedes platform, we have a high roof and we have a low roof. With the Ford, we have a high, a medium, and a low. Now the high roof is going to be a little bit taller than the Mercedes high roof. The medium roof is going to be that Goldilocks zone right in between Mercedes low and high. And in my opinion, we get a little bit more variety there, so we can pick and choose what's going to work best for our business.
Okay, so so what do we want? The high roof or the medium roof? I don't think the low roof is an option because I am 6'1" tall, so I need as much height as I can get on the interior. The thing about the high roof would be great, but you're going to be limited to perhaps getting into some spots that have overhangs. For example, getting into some garages in certain cities, garage heights. You may not be able to drive that high roof into certain spots because of the accessibility. So the medium roof might be the sweet spot. Maybe the medium. So I don't know. I don't know where to go on that. What do you think? Let me know what you think in comments. I think I keep switching between the high roof and the medium roof. I like the idea of the high roof, but I don't want to get into a situation where I run into a drive-through through a McDonald's and I can't find my, I get stuck or something, or I can't make it through some sort of entrance to a garage or somewhere because of the height of the van. Plus, on top, you're going to have a rack. You're going to have your air conditioner. You're going to have perhaps a fan. So you're going to have some additional height added to the high roof itself. So those things you got to figure out, kind of think about which is going to be better. and maybe the medium roof is the way to go. I don't know. What do you think?
So when it comes to body, I think Ford really hit it out of the park with this platform. So there is just simply the most options out there compared to some of the other vehicles on the market. So they have a high, a medium, and a low roof. They have 2 different wheelbases and multiple body styles on top of those wheelbases. So whether we have a medium roof 130 or a 148 high roof extended, there's going to be the right platform for you and your build out. So the last piece of the body that we should talk about is the wheelbase and the lengths of the vans. So Ford offers a 130, which is that little short guy. They offer the 148, which is probably the most common we see around. They call that the 148 long body. And then they have the 148 extended. Now the extended has a little bit more cargo room at the back. So folks that are trying to live in the van might be a good one for you. But personally, the one pet peeve I have about the Ford Transit platform is the extended model. And really what it comes down to is departure angle. So we live here in a mountainous state, which means I'm going up and down dirt roads. We're going through ruts, things like that. And what I mean by departure angle is, for some of you that don't know, is the amount of butt that hangs off the back of the van. When we're going up something steep, we might drag the tail end of the vehicle on one of those obstacles. So, all things aside, I love the Ford Transit platform, but I want to be real with you, and that's the one thing I'm not a huge fan of.
In terms of my own situation and the sweet spot, I'm looking at the 148 wheelbase. I think probably the medium roof. I think maybe either a 250 or a 350, so that I have plenty of load capacity. And I think all-wheel drive. I think that too. So that's basically what we're going for. And the reason the whole point of this video was to give you the reasons for why a Ford Transit, and the main reason I think the Ford Transit is the way to go is because of the availability of parts, the number of Ford dealerships that are around the country, and mechanics, who can work on a Ford are going to be much more readily available. And I think it's going to be less expensive than driving a Mercedes. Now, don't get me wrong, the Mercedes is great. It's a solid vehicle, but it's expensive, and it's more expensive to maintain. So I think the Ford's a nice trade-off. But anyway, that's where I'm headed, is getting that Ford Transit. Hope you have a good day today. This has been day 62. And we hope you go out and have a good week, and we will see you again tomorrow.